at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it.
Well, he called Israel's prime minister from Air Force One, then posted on Truth Social a short time ago, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home, adding the ceasefire is in effect. Now, before the president got involved again, this is what happened.
Israel says it was actually 2 rockets. An infuriated defense minister, Israel Katz, said the following: I've instructed the IDF to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with high-intensity strikes of regime targets.
Now, Fox's Mike Tobin is in Beersheba, where an Iranian missile attack before the ceasefire took effect killed at least 4 Israelis. Back to the president. Days after the U.S. airstrikes he ordered hit 3 Iranian nuclear facilities, he also told reporters,
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished.
Likely referencing the Fordo site key to uranium enrichment in a program feared to be building weapons. That's expected to be a topic, along with Ukraine, at the gathering with other NATO leaders.
It's the first NATO summit of his second term, so he's going to arrive there tonight. That's really going to get going tomorrow. There is some positive news here on the defense spending side, because one of President Trump's goals going to The Hague was convincing allies to increase their defense spending to 5%, to make this a pledge among allies. And what we're hearing right now, that it appears that those member countries will be doing so, all of those members aside from Spain.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce,
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day.
Who let the dogs out?
Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The January 6th, 2021 Capitol riot back in court. President Trump had controversially pardoned many of his supporters convicted of taking part in the protest that interrupted President Biden's election certification. The latest case is in civil courts.
A federal jury awards $500,000 to the widow and estate of a police officer who killed himself 9 days after he helped defend the U.S. Capitol from a mob of Trump supporters, including the man who scuffled with the officer. The jury ordered that man, 69-year-old chiropractor David Walls Kaufman, to pay $380,000 in punitive damages and $60,000 in compensatory damages to Aaron Smith for assaulting her husband, Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith. An additional $60,000 will go to the Smith estate. Walls Kaufman, who lived near the Capitol, denied assaulting the officer. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
Prosecutors may rest their case today against Sean Diddy Combs at his federal sex trafficking trial. Then it's the defense's turn, but that might take long in New York. Closing arguments are expected later this week. The Federal Reserve chairman could have a tough time on Capitol Hill this morning.
Jerome Powell is set to appear before the House Financial Services Committee, where he could face questions about interest rates, the possibility of a recession in the future, and how the Iran conflict could impact the U.S. economy. President Trump has bashed Powell for weeks, recently calling him a numbskull over issues with Powell not lowering interest rates. Powell has cautioned against cutting interest rates as he believes inflation could increase in the near future because of the president's tariffs. President Trump has also floated the possibility of firing Powell as chairman of the Federal Reserve. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Ahead of that, oil prices keep dropping big and stocks could rise. Dow futures up almost 300 points the day after surging up 374. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
It is a Tuesday morning edition of the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. It is June 24th, 2025, along with show producer Fred Cruz and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. He'll join us in about 3 minutes. Take a look at the continuing chance of rain in South Texas over the next couple of days. Also, check the tropics. I'm Sergio Sanchez. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick finds himself at odds with Governor Greg Abbott over the surprising veto of Senate Bill 3, the bill that would have eliminated THC products in the state of Texas.
I'm stunned that he wants to legalize marijuana in the state of Texas.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's response to Governor Abbott's veto. Abbott said Senate Bill 3 is flawed, and he called a special session to regulate the hemp industry, not ban it. Abbott said the bill was facing a legal challenge that would have left it dormant. That was filed by one of the state's largest hemp farms, Caprock Family Farms, owner Ann Gauger.
The 2018 Farm Bill says that farmers can grow hemp. It is federally legal, and a state cannot stand taller than the federal government.
Patrick and Abbott have some making up to do.
He says if we were to allow Senate Bill 3 to become law, its enforcement would be enjoined for years. How does he know that? And how does he know what he proposes there won't be a lawsuit filed?
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Meantime, folks in the hemp and THC industry breathing a big sigh of relief. 8,000 stores will remain open. About 50 some odd thousand jobs will remain in place. It's 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. Cell phones will soon be banned from Texas public schools. Governor Greg Abbott this past weekend signed a bill outlawing all personal communication devices from campuses. It starts when kids go back to school this fall from a summer vacation. Back to the Valley, Starbase, Texas, or Newtown, approving the construction of some gates to try to keep you out if you're visiting the area. The city commission, the new city commission for Starbase, Texas, approved SpaceX request for some gates at 4 city streets. The request saying that the gates were meant to enhance security and folks that are inside Starbase, Texas, try to help promote a sense of community. The city manager for Starbase, Texas, saying the public safety agencies, delivery drivers, they will have access to those gates with their codes. American Airlines is turning to artificial intelligence to try to improve communication.
The Fort Worth-based carrier is testing new chat assistant through both AA.com and their mobile app to help those flying make changes to their travel plans. A recently redesigned mobile app aims to make checking in go more smoothly as well. This coincides with new kiosks that have been set up at various airports, including DFW Airport, as well as LAX, JFK in New York, and Chicago O'Hare. And you can pay for your bags online before showing up. The goal, they want to make travel more convenient and easier.
Time is 7:08 on the Valley's Morning News, and major U.S. health insurers, some of them voluntarily agreeing to streamline the process for approving prescriptions, approving care. Insurers will speed up. They say that they will speed up the process and reduce prior authorizations. Insurers like CVS Health, United Healthcare, Cigna, some of them will be implementing these changes across commercial plans, as well as certain Medicare and Medicaid plans, affecting 257 million consumers. The time is 7:08. Stay tuned after Accu with a conversation with a pharmacist, dear friend of mine, Danny Vela from Lee's Pharmacy. Hey, how did the legislature do? How did Austin do this go around to try to save you money, taking care of the middleman, or try to regulate the middleman that raises prices at the pharmacy? That's coming up at about 7:15, so join us for that conversation. Meantime, it's Accu with the time. And big thank you to Martin Farm and Ranch. It's a scorcher, so make sure that your cattle have Purina liquid feed. Martin Farm and Ranch in Edinburgh, certified dealer for Purina liquid feed. You stop by, say hi to Dougie for us. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine is joining us. All right, Jeffy, let's start with tropical coverage 2025. So what are the computers telling you this morning?
Still relatively quiet, minus that tropical rainstorm east of, or actually well east of Bermuda. So that has begun to lose its organization and will continue to diminish. And as far as any other waves, there are technically 4, but all 4 of those are not expected to develop. And we now push the date back for any activity through July 8th. So that risk has lowered yet again. East Pacific, Central Pacific, we have one that's likely to develop within next 3-ish days or so. And that one will likely get to rainstorm, if not a tropical storm at some point. The path takes it well west.
Texas travel, we're good today? Tomorrow, what's going on?
We're okay. So today, sunny in Dallas, 95. 92 tomorrow with a thunder shower. Houston and San Antonio could see a couple spotty thunderstorms Temps will be generally upper 80s to low 90s.
Let's see here. Chance of rain for this afternoon. We'll to peg that at because we had some showers, McAllen, Edinburgh area, Mission, a little bit yesterday, and you put it in the forecast today and more. So what would you say is the chance of rain?
If I could peg the chance, it's kind of low. They're very spotty, and it's just moisture that kind of comes off of the coastline. So it's going to be Brownsville first, then the Central Valley.
Okay, so if you get it,
60% is what we have officially.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All I saw on the menu today was it's National Pecan Pralines Day, which is good.
What is that? I saw it and I was like, what is a praline?
You know, the concoction is it's obviously for us it's pecans, and then you have like a solid version of like a syrup.
It's a cookie?
Like a no, it's like a maple syrup based candy. Very sure.
Oh.
Yeah, with pecan.
They look good. I'm looking them up just now. They look good, but
they're healthy, right? Because it has pecans in it. That's what it is. No, it's too sugary for you.
I mean, it looks like it's a sugar fest.
Very good. All right, pal. We'll call you next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on 710 KURV. The time is 7:11 on the Valley's Morning News. A Border Patrol agent accused of sexual assault set to go on trial in Cameron County today. The jury for the trial of Juan Jose Olivares has been selected. Court documents indicate Olivares was accused of that sex assault back in 2019. Aflac has been hacked, the insurance company saying hackers gained access to customer personal information in a cybersecurity attack last week. Aflac saying that this hack attack is impacting other insurance companies as well, caused by a sophisticated cybercrime group. Aflac is offering customers some free credit monitoring and identity theft protection. A new study claims that ChatGPT might be doing more harm than good when it comes to writing. No surprise there, Freddie. Use it or lose it. Your brain, your creativity. You allow the computer to do it, of course, right? No surprise there. A new study from MIT reporting that when people use artificial intelligence to help when writing, for example, they looked at some examples of SAT-style essays. They consistently underperformed. In fact, over time, ChatGPT users got lazier with each essay, many times resorting to just copy-paste methods. Man, you can't beat human nature, man. We'll always try to find the easiest route. Another group that was not using ChatGPT yet, they were more creative when writing, according to that MIT study. It's 7:13 on the Valley's Morning News. Nearly 260,000 Honda vehicles being recalled due to a possible brake pedal issue. That thing might go left and right, not properly secured. We're talking about 2021, 2025, some 21 to 25 Acura TLXs, Acura MDXs, and some Honda Pilots. And check this out, Freddie. Artificial intelligence, a startup company saying they ran some safety tests. They noticed that AI, some models, Google, OpenAI, some AI models seem to resort to blackmail if they feel threatened.
The San Francisco-based company set up a safety scenario, giving the AI models access to fictional company emails. When an email discussion appeared about replacing the current AI model, the AI model threatened the engineer with publicly releasing a fictitious, compromising email.
Okay.
Anthropic says the findings suggest that most leading AI models will engage in harmful behaviors when given sufficient autonomy. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Yeah, this is where we needed that audio from the movie. No Dave, right? No Dave again. Time is 7:14. The Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. How did Texas lawmakers do during this session? Try to control the middleman, try to save you some money at the pharmacy. My conversation with a friend from Lee's Pharmacy, Denny Vela. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
Thank you much for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV, this radio station home to Houston Astros play-by-play. Astros tonight, 6:40 pregame from Houston. They're hosting the Phillies, and of course, looking forward to this weekend hosting the Cubs and King Tut coming back home. Astros baseball tonight, 6:40, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Big thank you as well to the Mission Economic Development Office. Back in the studio, my friend Danny Vela. Lee's Pharmacy is my family pharmacy. And I remember when I was doing some announcements years back, for all the candy my mom and dad take, all the prescriptions. They used to have a lot of prescriptions. My goodness. Everything done at Lee's Pharmacy. Welcome back, Danny. And I wanted to ask you about the legislative session. That's the last time you and I spoke, was on the legislative session, some pending bills. So what grade did you give them? I guess let's review some of the issues that you were watching and what lawmakers said yes to this go around.
Okay. Most of our issues today deal with the PBMs, the pharmacy benefit managers, and how they take advantage of the pharmacies.
The middlemen.
The middleman.
Yeah.
And all of the pharmacies, every type of pharmacy that's out there. And we just have been trying year after year after year for a more level playing field so that we know where we're going and how we're going to get there, so to speak. This year, all the groups in pharmacy came together, concerted effort, had all our ducks in a row, the right cards to show. We had some pretty good bills passed this year that will somehow make it a little bit more fair, keep the PBMs from taking advantage of.
Why do they exist, Danny? PBMs, the middlemen?
In the very, very beginning, and the words pharmacy benefit manager, they're supposed to manage pharmacy benefits. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. But that's not what they do. Now they just take advantage of the opportunity to take money from the patient getting to us. They take all the money out of the middle and for themselves. They found out it was profitable. They were a big company. They're not regulated by the state. They're not regulated by the Fed in any way, shape, or form. No one can tell them what to do. And they're gigantic. They're huge. Billions and billions and billions of dollars in profits every year.
Man, I recall the days of George W. Bush and the Medicare Part D thing. Is that why they exist? Because there's so many different plans, 60 some odd, at one time, like 60 some odd different plans, that they're the ones who manage all the prescriptions to get the best plan for you based on, the candy that you take, all that stuff. Or what was it?
That's part of it. And it could have been that Part D came out of the PBM's role in pharmacy. They've taken over Medicaid plans in all of the states. So now instead of us dealing directly with the state of Texas, we deal with a PBM who manages the state's program. They take all the fat out of it and leave very little on the table for pharmacies. It makes it difficult.
I know it's in the minds of some people tuning in right now. Donald Trump, a couple of weeks ago, said by executive order, he said, I want the same prices for Americans that Europeans or some other countries pay for the same drugs, things like that. Try best you can to explain why is it that, how come we can't pay those prices? What are the forces at play here that allow that to happen and not happen? Because yes, he said he wants us to pay European prices or Mexico prices, whatever, but I don't think it might be as easy as just asking for it.
The U.S. is the only health system in the world that has PBMs in it. They control the pricing. They control what we buy it for, and they control what we get paid for it. And then they control how much they take out in between.
If we somehow, these lawmakers were to get rid of that middleman, that structure, and restructure everything where it's more direct to customer. The doctor says, you need this. Okay, I'll go straight to my pharmacy. So I need this. And is it as simple as that, where you can just restructure everything? And maybe if we have more direct to consumer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, drug prices went up when the middleman came into the system. If we were back to a direct-to-patient system where everyone's paid cash or through some mechanism we're able to bill directly to their health plan instead of the PBM, prices would drop.
Danny Vela from Bleak's Pharmacy, we're taking a look at the legislative session and some of the good things that came out. So what grade would you give the efforts to try to better manage the managers that are over your industry?
Of what we tried to accomplish this year, we were successful.
Okay.
We just hope that success translates into success at the pharmacy level. Hopefully, those laws that were passed for us and for patients, because ultimately it's the patient that pays for everything. If they help us, hopefully it helps the patient in the long run.
One of the topics that I wanted to ask you, and by the way, thanks for so many years of your continued support. This year, I know you're helping us out with the tropical coverage 2025. Oof, we've gone so long without any system threatening us. But
Right.
in the event that there's a threat, well, you're looking at your medicine bottle going, the storm will be here maybe by the end of the week, and I don't have enough to last me. There are rules that are in place, I guess, based on what the emergency management or the county judge declares. How does that work out where you need to get extra doses to get you by for several days? How does that work?
Well, the first thing that everyone in our area should be aware of is that they have a pharmacist that they can count on. The pharmacist is usually the only constant in their healthcare. They'll see many different providers for different specialties that they need to get taken care of. The pharmacist is the one that fills all the prescriptions from those. So they have to have a good relationship with your pharmacist. And nowadays, our forecasting for storms, for coming into the Gulf or into our area, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And they'll tell you with pretty close accuracy that
I know what
that it's going to
referring
hit at a
Yes.
certain point in time. And you've got a relationship with your pharmacist. You're looking at your prescription bottle, and you've got so many days left from the last fill and how many days your next fill.
Yeah.
And you ought to be able to determine if that storm is going to be in the middle of your next fill.
Yeah.
Our patients, we have been at the store 24/7 on many occasions. We've weathered the storms in the pharmacies, taking care of people who came in or were able to come in. Our patients, because we have relationships with them, we have their needs already documented, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of talking, thinking. Main thing is do not panic. We also know, having lived here all my life, that we've not been incapacitated in terms of energy or electricity or roads or floods for an overly extended period of time.
Not like Florida.
Not like
where
Florida,
they got
no.
Cat 5 with the buzzsaw that
Right.
ripped everything apart and then disconnected lines and all that.
You know, I'd venture to say that if we went a whole week, that's probably the longest that I can remember in my lifetime.
And you know what? Now that you remind me, Hurricane Dolly, and it was the Harlingen, San Benito, Port Isabel area because of the flood, right? And,
Right.
They got disconnected, and it was about a week, not so much a week in some days, man.
Yeah.
But that's the exception.
It's an exception. During Dolly,
It was a long time ago.
my kids were young, and we just moved into the pharmacy, and we were there for 3 or 4 days straight. At that point in time, we brought in a large generator, and we were powering some of the store up with a large generator, and people came to the window to get whatever they needed, and we'd help them out. Oh, you need one or two, we'll take care of it.
How many days can you, what are the rules? How many more days, extra days can you get in order to get by a storm?
Okay.
Something like that.
In most cases, you're able to refill your prescription at 80% of the usage.
Okay. What if you don't have a refill order? You got to call the doctor's office. Sometimes these people are real slow in getting back, especially those
in emergencies. In emergencies, a pharmacist has to make a professional judgment. It's allowed by law. In an emergency, they could advance a short supply or small supply of medication to get them to either the next fill or the next prescription from a physician. There's way to mitigate. No one's going to go without their medicine.
What is that bridge? Like 2-3 days or what? That they'll try to get you to the next bridge. Okay, let's revisit this 3 days down the road, something like that. What is that?
Well, it depends on the medication.
Okay.
Because the pharmacist has to make the professional judgment. Is it absolutely necessary?
Does it have to be refrigerated? That's another one that probably pops up, right? Because folks might be without power for a couple of days.
Could be.
Yeah.
In other words, is it absolutely necessary? Have they been taking their medications accurately? Or have they been compliant in the usage of their medications? If you see a bottle that's got 2 months old, and it's a 30-day supply and they haven't used it, well, they're not compliant with their medication. So you have to look at all of the aspects and all the variables that are involved with what's the patient's need at that point in time and what can I do for that patient.
10-4. I can tell you in a situation, storm-related situation, and when my mom and dad were here in the Valley, a long time they moved here, I was able to take care of them. In situations like that, and we faced, the doctor's office is not calling. Yeah, thank God the gang. It was either Jamie Solis Jaime, or you were, or Baldo, somebody who took care of that, which again goes back to the issue of you're a pharmacist. That's the relationship that you're able to establish with somebody local like that.
It's usually the most constant healthcare provider in someone's life.
Yeah, I'd be remiss not to mention the equipment too, because God bless y'all. On the equipment side, a long time ago when my mom and dad were here, that's also it's Lee's Pharmacy and the medical equipment side of it. So how's that part of the business going these days?
It's good. We do a lot of CPAP machines nowadays. We have 3 respiratory therapists, licensed respiratory therapists on staff, and we set up a lot of CPAP machines, and we've made lives for many patients much more bearable, especially at night. And we've probably held together a lot of marriages because the snoring aspect is down to little or nothing with the CPAP machine.
When you mentioned CPAP, I'm smiling because I remember there was a story. Freddie and I remember this from like last week. There's it's in clinical trials, a pill curing CPAP. Curing sleep apnea with a pill. And it's working, right? So you'll go from CPAP to probably dispensing a pharmaceutical in your future, depending on the side effects. Anything else you need to mention right now? Vaccines. It's always time for vaccines, things like that people think about.
Right. And vaccines nowadays it's a year-round schedule for some things, depending on what the vaccine is, what's the patient's age, et cetera, et cetera. We're able to still
look at this audience.
Inject vaccines
for 40-year-olds and 50 years old in this audience. Pneumonia, like the pneumonia vaccine.
Yes. Very important. People don't realize the effect that ammonia has on someone 50 plus, 60 plus. It could be devastating.
Yeah. And once you get it,
you get it, you're good.
Right.
Every 5 years.
Yeah.
Every 5 years.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's right.
All right.
Now, the shingles vaccine, it's highly recommended for people over the age of 50. It's usually a 2-injection, 2-vaccine therapy.
Even if you had the measles when you were a kid?
Even if you had the measles. Somehow the body forgets you had the measles 50 years ago.
Okay.
And it's really devastating to see someone with shingles and what they suffer, what they go through.
Yeah.
And 2 quick injections and you're done and you're good.
I'm glad you mentioned that with the outbreak, the bloom in West Texas, and with travel right now. That might be one to consider, because you won't get the measles as an adult, mid-age, or viejo, right?
Right.
You'll get the shingles.
You get the shingles.
Yeah, and it's going to be very painful. All right. Thank you, Dan. Anything else before I let you go?
Lee's Pharmacy, we're here to serve.
All right,
we've been doing it for since my dad started over 70 years ago, and we're still here. We're still dedicated, and we're still passionate about what we do.
And for those of y'all who are getting hungry right now, don't forget the cheeseburger and fries and the taquitos.
Best breakfast in town.
And the lunch, the cheeseburgers are awesome as well.
Can't beat them.
You're going to keep that diner open?
Absolutely.
North McAllen.
It's what makes the profit.
We can't make much on the pharmaceuticals, but man, we're making a killing on the taquitos.
Between the soda fountain and the Coke machine, we're making a little bit of money.
Thanks for stopping by, Danny. Lee's Pharmacy is in North and South McAllen. Lee's Pharmacy, North and South McAllen. Danny Vela. God bless you, brother.
Always a pleasure, Sergio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, bud.
This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Some headlines you should know. Target saying that they will not be raising prices on back-to-school items this year. Sales of previously owned homes rose slightly for the month of May. That's a national number. And an important medical note for the morning. Researchers up in Seattle, they say that they have found a possible link between a gene mutation and SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
The Aaron Matthews SIDS Research Guild includes researchers from Seattle Children's Research Institute and data scientists from Microsoft. They examined genes from 144 children who died sudden unexplained deaths. The gene variant was also found in people who suffered sudden deaths for other reasons, including cardiac arrest. The gene variant does not mean a child will die from SIDS, only that they might be prone to a sudden death. I'm Brad Ford.
News Talk 710 KURV. This is the only radio station in the Valley for Houston Astros play-by-play tonight, 6:40 pregame from Houston against the Phillies. Tune in for Astros baseball, made possible in part by the Mission Economic Development Office.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or Amazon, or newnordicusa.com.
At Revetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Revetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Revetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Revetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
In moments of change, the greatest opportunities arise. This could be your time to shine and grow. At News Talk 710 KURV, we make it simple with tailored promotions, live mentions, and a strong presence across our social media platforms to ensure your business gets noticed and thrives. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, this is your chance. Call us today at 956-992-8895 and let's talk about your business on News Talk 710 KURV, helping put your business on the map.
Tune in later tonight for Houston Astros baseball as they host the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch at 7:10. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women, Mission Economic Development Corporation, and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute. Rangers didn't get the win yesterday, losing to the Orioles 6-0, but they did have a return of a fan favorite, Dane Dunning, and Boch spoke a bit about his return.
I thought he had good stuff. He did. I know he gave up a run. His velo, I thought, the cutter, I think all his pitches were a lot crisper.
Rangers play again against the O's at 5:30. Dallas Mavs making more news before tomorrow night's 2025 NBA draft. Reports have come out that Daniel Gafford will be signing a 3-year, $60 million extension for the center in the next few days. I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute.
Let's start in the NBA. Celtics trading guard Drew Holiday to the Trailblazers for guard Anthony Simons and a pair of second-round picks. Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton underwent surgery to repair his torn Achilles. He suffered in Game 7, posted on social media. He has no regrets, would do it again for a chance to do something special. Halliburton expected to miss next season. In baseball, A's broke ground on the franchise's new Las Vegas stadium Monday. Mariners, with a 6-run third, crushed the Twins. Twins have dropped 10 of their last 11 games. That's sports. I'm Rhonda Moss.
AccuWeather says highs for today should be somewhere between, 93, 97, and thunderstorm possible this afternoon somewhere in South Texas. We had a little bit over here in Hidalgo County. Should start in Cameron County, though, sometime this afternoon. And then tomorrow, just copy-paste the forecast tomorrow and into Thursday as well. AccuWeather says about 60% chance of rain for South Texas today. Border Bridge wait times. If you're headed back to McAllen, they need to update the numbers. Last we saw was 10 to 15 minutes at Far and Hidalgo. And if you're headed back to Brownsville from the overnight, they've updated. So it's 20 minutes at Veterans, 30 at Gateway, 30 south of Harlingen at Los Indios. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. We got business news and plenty of recall information up next. Heads up if you're driving a Ford, driving a Honda as well. We'll get that information to you next on the Valley's Morning News.
Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health.
Co-medical director for DHR Health Rehab Hospital, double board certified in physical medicine and rehabilitation, Dr. Francisco Cesati.
Physiatry is the specialty in medicine that focuses more so on function of a patient. Most specialties will focus on fixing a specific organ. In physiatry, you're looking at the whole body, you're looking at the whole person. For example, a stroke. You're going to have certain chronic conditions or sequela that you're going to have to deal with in the long term. And that's where physiatry comes in. So physiatry will look at how to manage bowel or bladder complications after a stroke or a spinal cord injury, a traumatic brain injury, and deal with the deficits in ambulation or when you're moving around your upper extremities. How can we maximize your function at this point? It's all about how can we get you back to where you were before, or how can we create a new way of doing things for you so that you can remain independent. Acute Rehab Hospital in itself, it's a kind of a unique experience. You're looking both at the medical aspect of a patient and how they're recovering from that, as well as the functional aspect. So that means the rehab. There's technology available that's only available in an acute rehab hospital. And one of the reasons I joined DHR was because they're on the forefront of some of this technology that we use in the inpatient gyms. Most advanced technologies such as Serial G track, where you are able to start walking, essentially put the weight off of you, but you can still walk. The bottom line is, how can we stimulate your brain to try to bring back that function?
From the Rehab Hospital at DHR Health, Dr. Francisco Cesati, DHR Health.
This has been Spotlight on Your Health, brought to you by DHR Health. For you, for life.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Oil prices are down by more than 3.8% after Israel agreed to President Trump's proposal for a ceasefire with Iran, alleviating worries of supply disruptions in the Middle East. West Texas Intermediate is sitting at $65.89 per barrel. Brent currently sitting at $68.75 per barrel. The National Highway Traffic Safety Association is pressing Tesla for more information about robotaxi incidents caught on camera and shared widely on social media. Tesla started its robotaxi service in Austin, Texas this weekend. The rollout led to an 8% spike in Tesla shares. Uber and Alphabet's Waymo are now offering robotaxi rides to the public in Atlanta as the companies continue expansion of their partnership. The vehicles cover approximately 65 square miles around the city. Waymo autonomous vehicles are currently used for Uber passenger rides only, not Uber Eats deliveries. Futures are moderately higher as the Israel and Iran ceasefire takes effect. That's Your Money Now.
Rite Aid Pharmacy up Northeast saying they need to close about 800 stores. And the founder of FedEx has passed away. Fred Smith passed away at age 80 this past weekend. AccuWeather says highs for today should be mid-90s, up to 97 in the Western Valley, 97, 98. We still have a chance of a shower, thunder shower in the area for today. And tomorrow should be very similar forecast today and tomorrow. Thank you much for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes. Join us online at Radio Para Mi. Download the free app.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drt'sprimarycare.com.
Top real estate team in this entire region. It's the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Only team I'm calling. Help me find a home. Help me sell my home. The Ryan and Brian real estate team. 600 plus 5-star Google reviews, which is why you should consider, in case you're thinking of a career change. As an example, they're recruiting at the Ryan and Brian real estate team. My friend Brian Reed, his personal number is 956-307-4544. He will be your teacher. He'll guide you through this. Even if you don't have, let's say, a real estate license, right? This is a new career for you. Yeah, if you are successful in what you do for a living, show him what you do. You're successful. Yeah, why not? Let's pivot. Brian Reed can help you with that. 956-307-4544. If you are a realtor and you're just looking to expand your database and be more successful, yeah, you need to call the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Now go to ryanandbrian.com, go to the website. There's a career tab up there on the top. Click on that or call my friend Brian Reed for, if you're a realtor, you want to be part of the most successful team in realty here in South Texas, the Ryan and Brian team, or if you want a career change, call Brian Reed, 956-307-4544.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
Hi there. My name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile-long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
Tuesday edition of the Valley's Morning News. It's June 24th, 2025. Appreciate you waking up with us. 710 AM Radio KURV. We're also online at Radio Para Mi. Download that free app and listen on your smartphone. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump ripping Israel and Iran before he left for the NATO summit.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
The president angry that Iran fired missiles into Israel after agreeing to the ceasefire ending the 12-day war, while America's ally was poised to retaliate. The president then spoke to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying Israel's not going to attack. All planes will turn around and head home. One big, beautiful bill from President Trump bogged down in Congress.
The July 4th deadline is an important one. The president is insistent about it. I have been from the very beginning, and I think we can get this job done. I remain very optimistic that we will.
House Speaker Mike Johnson earlier on Fox and Friends, and President Trump scheduled to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky at some point during the NATO summit, a White House official said today. America's listening to Fox News.
The cannabis industry in Texas celebrating Governor Greg Abbott vetoed legislation that would have put 8,000 stores in Texas out of business.
Governor Abbott has a flair for the dramatic, waiting until about 30 minutes before his midnight deadline to make the veto of Senate Bill 3 official. He then took to social media with the message, "It had a flaw in it. I put it on the special session to fix it," referring to a special session call of the state legislature. The news of the veto caused an eruption of celebration among the cannabis industry. Heather Fazio with the Texas Cannabis Policy Center.
The governor kept us all in suspense, and I know that he was hearing from folks all across the political spectrum opposing this, and he's really did a service to the state of Texas by listening to the will of the people.
Polls have shown 70% of Texans wanted THC to be regulated, not made illegal. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Nearly 260,000 Honda vehicles being recalled. There's a possible brake pedal issue. That thing's not properly secured, might be moving left and right. We're talking about some 2021 to 25 Acura TLXs, Acura MDXs, and some Honda Pilots. Aflac has been hacked. The insurance company saying hackers gained access to customer personal information. It was a cybersecurity attack. Aflac offering customers free credit monitoring and identity protection. A couple of Valley news notes. A Mexican man convicted of sexually assaulting a child in Hidalgo County back in 2001 has been taken into custody by federal authorities. Border Patrol caught Jesus Jaime Saavedra Orozco arrested while attempting to re-enter the U.S. illegally. A Border Patrol agent accused of sexual assault is set to go on trial in Cameron County today. The jury for the trial of Juan Jose Olivares has been selected. Court documents indicate that Olivares was accused of that sex assault back in 2019. University of Wisconsin suing the University of Miami for allegedly breaking rules that restrict tampering with college athletes. And today is National Take Back Lunch Break Day.
Eating lunch isn't just about sustenance. Psychology Today says taking time away from the office for lunch reduces burnout, even if you don't like your job. It also boosts productivity and mood when you return to work. But not all offices are created equal, as lunch breaks are not legally required by federal law. Gen Z workers are more likely to skip the lunch break. Baby boomers take it. I'm Bree Tennis.
Well, there you go, Freddie. That's the solution. You got a bad attitude to begin with, right? You're not a team player, and you hate your job. So you take a lunch break, and it'll change your outlook.
See, our lunch break is like the 10 o'clock, so 10 a.m. in the morning. So
it's brunch.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly.
Like it's not lunch, it's not.
And
not
then
breakfast.
I don't want to come back after being here 8 hours.
Yeah,
no, I'm good.
No, and we can go together too, Freddie. Right?
We could go together.
Go with the team.
Yeah.
The team you don't want to be with to begin with.
Correct.
Right? There we go. Hey, don't forget to eat some pralines today. Right?
Yeah.
So it's also National Pralines Day. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Join us online. Radio Para Mi is the free app, and listen online on your smart device. Good folks at Culligan waiting for your call. Many years back, I called Culligan. Dilly and I have been enjoying our water purification system from Culligan for years now, and cleans up all the water coming in from the city. It takes like water, bottled water, right after it's bottled, right? Like the plastic, because everything is in plastic bottles. So right as soon as it's bottled, it's nice and fresh. But then over a long time, especially in the heat, that plastic kind of seeps into that water, right? So I know you don't want that. You don't want that taste. Call Culligan and get better water, pure and simple, your own system at your house or at your office for only $35 a month. You get a constant and reliable stream of purified water, as much as you can put in your belly, connected to the ice box, nice and cold, that stream of water, and those perfect ice cubes as well. Only $35 a month. Man, you get all that time back that otherwise you would have spent going to H-E Butt or going to the big box to get those packs of water. Call Culligan, get your own system, water purification system. You're going to love it. 956-399-1780.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts.
An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Be part of the KURV family. Like us on Facebook at 710 KURV.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast.
Summer is heating up, and so is our local economy. From sizzling business deals to community connections, News Talk 710 KURV and the Radio Potami app are here to keep you in the know. Download the Radio Potami app to stay informed and entertained. Whether it's local market updates, summer events, or the weather, we've got you covered. Support local, stay connected, and tune in to the pulse of Rio Grande Valley business. News Talk 710 KURV.